Welcome, beautiful people, to season 2, episode 7 of Jahmi Roc's Jottings, this seriously silly space for intentional musicology, sonic joy, and the kind of reggae insight that'll keep your mind rocking and your thoughts swaying. I'm your host, Jahmi Roc, aka Racquel Bernard. Let's jam our way into an interview with international reggae artist XKhraig. XKhraig stands out in the reggae music scene for a soulful voice, captivating presence, and powerful lyrics that fuse roots reggae with modern sounds. Raised in Jamaica, XKhraig started his musical journey in the church and as a member of Choice, gaining early exposure during high school tours. His collaborations with Bling Ross and other artists showcase musical versatility. Thank you so much, XKhraig, for coming to be on the podcast today.
The pleasure is all mine.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. And we will jump right into those questions. I'm really excited to hear from you and just your thoughts about your career, your artistry, your process. So let's start off with some of your career beginnings and your influences. How did your upbringing in Jamaica and early experiences in church and on high school tours shape your musical journey and identity?
Uh, well, they say everything starts with the foundation. So, for those of you who can relate, who grew up basically in a Caribbean household or in the Caribbean, you know that church was mandatory, whether it was on a Saturday or on a Sunday. Church was the thing. Like you'd miss a day from school, but you wouldn't miss church, none at all.
Hmm.
So that's where it all started. And then the church, again, is one of those institutions that realize that nobody's going to be there forever. So at an early stage of your life, you can actually see them actually trying to channel you, oh, you're going to become the next this, you're going to become the next that. And singing was like mandatory. Everybody in my church, it was an Adventist church, Constitutional Assembly Adventist church. Everybody, every child, it was a requirement that you participated on the choir. And I'm like a social butterfly now. That's what people say. But back then I wasn't really feeling that vibe. So I didn't really like feel the choir vibes thing. You understand? Sometimes I like the group to be small. Not antisocial, but back then I liked the group setting to be small. So um me and one of my friends we came up with this great idea. Since they say singing is mandatory, we're gonna sing. But I don't feel like we should be singing with everybody. So we formed a group known as Choice, which is the acronym for Christ honored or interest clearly expressed. And
Mm.
it was like an a cappella group. So we basically focused on just using the vocals to fall soulful harmony. And we didn't use any drums, no guitars, no piano, no organ, no saxophone, no musical instrument, but the vocal cords.
Hmm.
So it was like basically like a four-part harmony. So in music in itself, you know that you got soprano, you got alto, you got tenor, you got bass. Those are the four main elements.
Right.
But in the a cappella world, it was like you had what it was known as a lead vocals, and right above him was a first tenor, and then below the lead was what is called as a baritone, and then below the baritone was a bass.
Hmm.
So it would be the bass would be like boom, boom,
Hmm.
boom, and maybe the lead was a to do. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So we kind of build on that. But then the group started growing and we got new members. So we like, oh man, you could duplicate the notes and then the lead could do some ad libs so it wouldn't sound like everybody's singing the same thing. And then the group grew again, and then we started like looking at what other groups were doing, like Take Six. They had a fifth tenor
Yeah.
all set to that kind of stuff. And then before long, we just had this unique sound. Our bass, Ron Linder, he was like one of the youngest member of the group. But when I say, when he sang, oh, the ladies went crazy. So altogether, before long, we became famous in the community.
Hmm.
Like, although we were Adventists, like all the Sunday churches wanted us to come to sing at their events. And
Hmm.
then during that time, it was like a thing. Acapella music was a thing in Jamaica. So various churches would have different type of acapella group. But we basically stood up because when I say the basic was the thing. And then before long, like all the members for the most part, they started working on their craft. So they started playing around with their voices and stuff like that. And eventually we say, you know what, this is gonna be a thing. This is gonna be our lifestyle. And we put on this big concert, and concert was a success. After the concert, we say, you know, let's start recording our own songs. So the first thing we tried to do was a cover. But on the day of our first recording, which was our only recording, so to speak, we were coming from the studio, and I had a toothpick in my mouth, right?
Hmm.
And we were talking, and somebody like, "Yo, take that toothpick out your mouth. Take that toothpick out your mouth." And next thing you know, the toothpick went out my mouth, but instead of out, it went down my throat.
Oh
Yep.
no.
Yep. So I ended up in the hospital. They did a robotic surgery to remove it because it was logged between my vocal folds. So like I'm worried, will I be ever able to sing again? And doctor's like, let's get to removing it and get on talking. Then we go to the singing part. So that kind of just basically just what should I say? That's when the whole shamble of the group started. So we had replacement members and stuff like that. But that's when that dream kind of died. And then one of the members of the group actually, one of the other member of the group actually, he died. One of the older member of the group, he died. And then from he died, the group just came like that. I'm like, years later, I'm like, damn. I'm like, is this where it ends for me? Because I bought that idea that we were gonna be a forever thing. We were gonna be like a Boys to Men or All for One or a Take Six.
Hmm.
So the musical fire was still in my bones. So I said, yo, I'm not even gonna make that stop me. But then
Right.
I said, yo, I can't even sing the way I used to sing. Cause the long and the short of the story, like my voice was never ever the same since then.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like if I tried to push it, I could actually feel the strain. It's like there's this phobia. So I was writing for other artists and stuff like that. And then I I'm from a teaching background, so I was working in Kingston, and I met this gentleman, and he came one day. It was like a private institution that I was teaching. He came one day, and he came to learn to read,
Hmm.
right? Because he came a couple of times walking around the building because I had a morning session, and then for like 2 hours there was nothing going on, and then I have an after school session. So he came once during the downtime, and he just walked around, didn't say anything. Then he came back another day, and I'm like, why does this gentleman keep coming? He's not saying anything. Then he approached me one day and said, hey, I'm just gonna be a man about this thing. I can't read, and I have a young daughter. Yesterday, she asked me to help her with her homework, and I couldn't. I had to make an excuse, and I left, and it broke my heart. So, if you could help me, and I said, no problem. During that time, I think Uct phonics was a thing.
Hmm.
So, I eventually got him. I said, hey, this is where it's set up. If you come in this time, I can basically help you and whatever, whatever. So, the long and the short of the story, I had him for like 3 months, and in no time, he could read.
Nice.
He was so happy, and he said, "Yo, like I owe you my life. I'm so happy now. I don't have to hide. I read the paper. None of my friends knew that I couldn't read because he was famous. He was a stunt bike rider. So when you're a star, people don't really see flaws. All they see is basically your greatness.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "Yo, I owe you. What can I ever do for you?" And I'm like, when I would say many years ago, I was in a group and music is my thing and I want to get in music. So he said, "Do you have any recording?" So I used to, just do my own recording thing. So I played a song and he heard it and he's like, "This is you?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "This is you?" And I said, "Yes." So I said, "You like it?" He said, "When is your day off?" So I said, "I'm not here on weekend." So he said, "Meet me on Saturday at X time, X place." So I met up with him. And before you know it, he was riding his bike and we got to a studio that I only dreamt about seeing on TV. And as he got to the door, the gate, they opened the gate and like everybody in the studio know him. And then I saw some other artists that I only see them on TV and I hear their music on the radio. And they would say, he introduced me as his best friend, whatever, whatever, whatever. And I was all hype, and I'm like, yeah, this is a dream. And then he took me in the studio. So he took me in the studio. It was Anchor Studio at that time. And he took me to an engineer known as Dr. Marshall.
Mm-hmm.
And Dr. Marshall was like, yeah, I can't do him today, but I owe you a favor. I'm gonna help him, whatever, whatever, whatever. And I keep going to the studio, and every day Dr. Marshall is busy. And then the guy came back to look for me and said, "What's up? Have you recorded yet?" I said, "No." So he said, did he ever listen to anything?" I said, "No, he's always busy." So he said, "Come on." So we went over there, went in. He was mad at Dr. Marshall. "Yo, yo, my boy been coming for 2 months. What's the situation?" He's like, "I got him. I got him." So he said, "I'm not leaving until you really have him." So I let Dr. Marshall hear the same recording thing that I had. He was like, "Yo, yo, yo, you have a song, you know. You sound like you have a song. It sound like the artist were part with Bunty when named Wayne Marshall." I'm gonna say, "Yeah." Man say, "Yeah, man, no, seriously. Seriously, we can make something out of it." And then he left, boom, left me there. Same thing again. Still I didn't get a chance. And then I just stopped going to that studio. Stopped going to that studio, and then I actually give the music a rest, and I'm like, maybe it's not meant to be.
Mm.
And I just rested for a while. I was like still writing songs, still going to karaoke and stuff like that. I know you have questions, and I might be answering questions within your question within the first question.
Okay.
But to make a long story short, how I got started, I got in the church. I got started when I used to go to the church. There was a passion for the music, having been in a group with some guys, the group split, and I decided that if it's only me that's going to continue to sing, I'm going to continue to sing.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
That's so awesome. Thank you so much for sharing more about your early journey.
yeah,
Sounds like you definitely went through your fair bit of challenges, but you had that determination to keep going. And even when you were taking a break, you stayed connected to the music.
definitely.
hmm And so, which artists have most influenced your sound and how do they manifest in your work, especially considering reggae legends like Bob Marley, Torres Riley, Jimmy Cliff, and Beenie Man? Like, who are those influential artists for you? You named a
So
couple.
all the artists that you just mentioned, I I I am forever grateful to Bob Marley.
hmm
Didn't know the guy, didn't met the guy a day in my life, but I'm forever grateful for him because I think he represent Jamaica on
hmm
the highest level possible. Like somebody who has never been to Jamaica would have heard the name Bob Marley before,
Yeah.
right? So that based on the work that he did in the early times with his music, that revolution music, the way in which he connected the world, so to speak, through his song. That's inspiration for me. I think music has a lot to do with performance. And as a musician, you, even if you can't duplicate what the record is saying, when you are on stage, right? Whenever you are on stage and you perform, the people are supposed to get the same energy as if they were listening to your music for the first time. And that's why I like Beanie Man.
Yeah.
I think his performance, I think he's one of the most talented artists that does performance. And I'm not talking about only in Jamaica. I'm not talking about the genre, whether it's reggae or dance. So I think he has a certain energy that is captivating. That's why I like him. Taurus Riley, Taurus Riley, I think Mr. Singy Singy, I think the way in which he sings, the melody, the way in which he transcends from the verse to chorus, that's why I like Taurus Riley. And
Hmm.
Jimmy Cliff, I think is one of the most underrated artists from Jamaica.
Mm.
Like I have a lot of African friends,
Hmm.
and when they share to me how Jimmy Cliff helped them music, helped them through their times of trial as a country, not just as people, but as a country,
Yeah.
I think that's legendary. I
Mm.
think that's legendary. And even if you listen to any Jimmy Cliff song right now, you can hear that soulfulness
Yes.
that many artists are still trying to tap into. So to me, he's a legend, and that's why I like all those artists that I have mentioned. Um, they are the people.
That's wonderful.
And in terms of style, I think I have my own style. Um, I think basically like there are some songs that I do because I kind of tap into everything.
Mhm.
I have kind of Afrobeats. I might feel Afrobeat. I might feel reggae rock steady. I
Yeah.
might kind of dance all and I kind of tap into it. But my real songs are more like it's like storytelling.
Mm.
I don't know if you have ever listened to the song Susie.
No, not yet.
Yeah, you should listen to Susie. So I am often influenced by what I see, what I hear, and what I feel. So Susie, the song Susie, speaks of a girl, obviously, by the name of Susie, who took somebody's heart.
Hmm.
It made him fall in love with her.
Hmm.
And then only to find out that she didn't really love him.
Oh no, that's heartbreaking.
Right. But the long and the short of the story that sometimes they say in Jamaica, sometimes a bad situation turns out good, is that he ended up meeting somebody that was better than Susie. And Susie wanted to come back. And he was like, no, 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 no. And
Hmm.
that song is like a story. I'm in Jamaica and I'm taking a ride from Papine to Halfway Tree. And I hear this taxi driver saying that women are wicked. And right now, he doesn't want any woman. If he's has an interaction with a lady, it's gonna be on a business, but never to fall in love again because he don't even have his heart anymore. You understand it?
Hmm.
And I basically wrote the song like that because his story was like he met this girl, she got kicked out of her house because her parents were Christian and they had position in the church, and she got pregnant
Hmm.
during high school, and the church disfellowship her, and the pastor say, "No, you no longer my daughter. Leave or get rid of the child," whatever the situation was.
Hmm.
And he basically took her up, right? She
Hmm.
had lost the baby, but he basically took her up, sent her back to school, right? And she got so many subjects. He paid for her to go to university for 3 years
Hmm.
after getting all the subjects. So altogether, he knew her for 4 years because she was bright.
Right.
She fell out of school just when she was supposed to do her CXC.
Hmm.
So he got her in an evening class. She did all the subjects, and then she did 3 years in university, got her bachelor.
Yeah.
And the day of graduation, she said, "You know what? Maybe it's not a good idea for you to come to the graduation with me because the people there, they, they, they like John, mother is a lawyer. Sue, Sharon, mother is a dentist, and my parents not there. You're gonna be the one that's representing me, and I don't feel like you're gonna be able to deal in the conversation because if you tell them that you're a taxi driver, they might look at me some sort of way."
Wow.
And he said he took it as nothing, like, okay, maybe she's right, and he let it go. But it so happened that one day he came home early from work because he was on a regular schedule. He came home early from work. He just came home. And when he came home, there was another guy, one of the guy that she went to university with, who she usually call her study partner. Because he would go pick her up from the library and stuff, drop the guy at his house and stuff like that. They were in bed, in his bed.
Mm-mm.
So that really ripped his heart. So the song Susie actually speaks about that, how this man meets this girl. She broke his heart, but luckily he found love.
Right.
So my type of writing style, that's what I come from. Then sometimes I'm like in a poppy mood, you understand?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right. So you balance like honoring that tradition while you innovate within the genre in different ways for sure,
exactly.
right?
Yeah, more
Right.
like a fusion.
I love that. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm a fan of that too because with my music, I do fusion a lot. Anytime someone asks me what my musical style is, I'm like, well, I have the reggae and the dance hall, but I also have R&B and hip hop influences in there too. And then I can't escape gospel as an influence as well. So I can definitely identify with that. Now, I want to talk about one specific song. I think she's perfect. It achieved impressive chart success in Gambia, right? Uh,
Yes.
what does this global reach mean to you, and how does it inspire your creative vision?
Um, I think she's perfect. Yep. Uh, that song to this day, I don't think it has ever left the top 20 since it was
Wow.
released in Gambia. And I think it's a testimony because I met Michael Adams. They call him Angel. He used to be at Downtown. So the first album of Phantom Moja, Mama Hungry, he
Hmm.
worked on that album. When Jack Ure was in prison, he had something to do with a lot of songs from Jack Ure. And I can go on and name many artists. Now, I met him through a friend of mine who worked at the airport when I worked at the airport. And the friend was like, he was impressed with my music and he said, "Yo, you know that I have a friend in Jamaica, he doesn't do music no more, but I think he will appreciate the type of music that you do. So I'm gonna introduce you to him." So the guy introduced me to him and stuff like that. And then we started connecting. I would go to Jamaica and stuff like that, but he didn't really have a studio per se.
Uh-huh.
Like, cause he was he basically reached breaking point, was disappointed with a lot of things in his life as it relates to the music business. There were songs that he did, songs that he composed that the metadata did not reflect his participation or his contribution to the music. So that kind of got to him and he just basically just shut down where music is concerned. Nevertheless, he plays his guitar every day, always playing his guitar. So I said to him, "Yo, maybe you should get back in the music thing." And he said, "No, if I'm ever getting back in the music thing, I am basically working for myself. I'm not working for nobody else."
Hmm.
And the project, I think she's perfect. We did that project together.
Hmm.
We didn't go into any studio to do that project.
Wow.
It was basically a situation where I bought a second-hand laptop, Mac computer,
Mhm.
right? Took it to Jamaica, and he asked somebody for a software, I think it was Logix, put it on it. We got a microphone and an interface. And right at the house where I was staying in Jamaica, that's where we basically recorded.
Hmm.
All we did was use bigger curtains into this room, and we try to lean the bed one side to kind of make a voice box, and that's where we recorded that song.
Wow.
Yep. And we meanwhile, I'm singing the idea. He's basically playing it on a keyboard, playing it on a guitar, and then the entire thing came together.
Hmm.
So in music, you have to be strategic. So what I did was that I did my homework and kind of saw where my music was being played the most, where it was kind of being received the most, and I started connecting with influencers from that side. By influencers, I mean people that played on the radio station,
Hmm.
DJs that played in the party and stuff like that. And I
Hmm.
started connecting with them. So I made preparation for this project in terms of doing short video clips and stuff like that. And I did like sing along challenges on the radio and stuff like that. And when the song dropped, like the day after it dropped, it was number one.
Hmm.
It was number one on iTunes in Gambia. And it just goes to show that we didn't have any fancy studio. We didn't have any fancy equipment or anything like that. It
Yeah.
was two humble spirits coming together to make music with what we had. And and I always say that if Bob Marley's biggest song, if when he made it, he never put it out to the people, it wouldn't be as big as it is. So
Mhm.
once the work was done with the song, I basically just follow up.
Yeah.
And by following up, there you go. The song is a song. And it's a testimony to me to say, yo, I've never been to Gambia,
Yeah.
right? And the people in Gambia love me. In COVID, in the middle of COVID, I was asked to perform at their stadium.
Mhm.
And again, it's COVID with all the travel restriction, and I really never got a chance to go
Yeah.
because of my obligation working at the airport.
Hmm.
And we're still, it's not off the table because we're still looking on a date to go. But that to me in itself, that achievement of having that number one song,
Yeah.
that it was just basically made from one simple computer, a keyboard, and a guitar inside a bedroom, and with effort of marketing and stuff like that. It shows me that anything is possible once you put your mind to it.
Right. That's so impressive. That's so impressive. And I was curious, is this moment might be the answer to this next question, but what would you consider your proudest musical achievement to date and why?
I think I think the happiest time of my life doing music, because I've had the opportunity to do some performance. I perform in Jamaica, maybe in front of like close to 20,000 people.
Nice.
That was good. That felt good. Um, I have I just earlier this year I was in St. Vincent for a show, Reggae on the Beach.
Hmm.
That was great. Um, but I have never felt anything bigger than the first time I heard my song on a mixtape of one of those big wheels. When I say big wheels, like one of those influential mixtape people who Everybody's trying to get this person to put, like, I was literally in my sleep and I was listening to YouTube, and then the song just came on, and I'm like,
Wow.
hell did I just hear? You understand what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
To me, that feeling, it does not compare to a number one in another country that you have never been. It does not compare in performing for thousands of people. But to me, that was one of the most cherished moments in my life. That was one of the most cherished moments in my life. Um, and then again, another thing again, I opened for Itana. I opened for Itana in Philadelphia. And I did the song Susie. Now, you know, some of my songs I'll go straight English and then I'll transcend to Patois.
Mm-hmm.
And after doing the song, like I got, I should I say, there were people that was coming to me who I didn't know understood anything at all that I was saying. And they say, yo, I connect with the music. I was caught up in that story. So it's those little things. Those little things. Those are some of the biggest moments for me.
I love that. And to continue talking about these live performances a little bit more, audiences rave about your energetic shows and vocal range. What elements do you prioritize when crafting a live performance experience?
So I did drama in ninth grade when I went to Hardin. And I remember the drama teacher always saying, know thy audience. So by knowing who you're going to perform for, half of your preparation is completed right there. So you have to try to select songs that is basically going to match that audience.
Mm,
But you have to also have an open mind.
yeah.
Like if you do not open the show, then you're going to kind of pick up on what is going to happen or what just happened with the first artist.
Hmm.
Because sometimes it's not the most talented artist that is well received. Sometimes it's just the artist that brings exactly what the people are looking for. So energy is always something that gets going. Energy is catchy. So you can't be like dead. If you're dead and the audience is dead, you have a funeral home.
Yeah.
But if the audience is dead and you bring vibes, you bring energy, you get them involved. You talk, you say things, or you do songs which captivate the mind. Then that's where you're gonna go. And then the other thing is know your songs and perform your songs in keys which you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
Don't experiment too much, especially with vocal range. Like anything that you do, make sure anything that you're gonna do in a performance, make sure you have mastered it or come close to mastering. Because I've seen situation where I'm at shows and the artist has a big song on the radio and thing and they're hype and all kind of stuff, but then they go to the show and they're performing and the audience is just dead, and then they start cursing the sound tech. They start cursing the people. Why? No. You just have to just be confident in what you're doing and just execute it the best way you can. And at the end of the day, you just respect the audience. If you read them incorrectly and they did not receive you as you would have wanted them to receive you, then move along. Catch them on the rebound.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds like a positive mindset of a growth mindset, right? So
Yes.
not every performance might go exactly your way, but if you again catch them on the rebound, I have that idea that you'll return again and you'll be able to step up your performance on a different time. I like that. I like that kind of vibe. And I wanted to kind of dive into your creative process a little bit. You gave us a sneak peek of it with your discussion of I think she's perfect. But I'm curious if you could walk us through your process of writing and creating your music from that initial inspiration to the final release? What does it look like?
Um, so it all depends. I have a song that's coming out on my birthday. That's in a few days, and it's
Early
called My.
birthday.
Yep, thank you. And it's called My Love, My Love. And I recently recorded, like I recorded it Saturday night past,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't go to the studio to record that song.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the studio to record a different song. I purchased a beat online, and the producer was supposed to send it to me. I contacted the producer in the morning, told him what time studio time I have, and I said, hey, you could actually send it over directly to the studio,
Mm-hmm.
right, with the leasing agreement and all that kind of stuff. Went to the studio, I'm calling the producer, not getting the producer. And I'm like, what the hell? And I got out of patience because I already booked the studio time, so I have to use the studio time. So I
Mm-hmm.
say to the engineer, hey, because he makes beat, I said, do you have any beat that nobody else is on? Or you have any beat that sounds good that would might fit my style?
Mm-hmm.
And this is somebody that I've worked with before. I maybe have recorded maybe 4 or 5 songs with him. And I say, I do have beats, but I'm not sure any of them is gonna fit your style because you are more like on the reggae side of stuff. And I said, who knows? Play something. And he started playing beat. And then there was one that caught me.
Mm-hmm.
And and I remember a song that I wrote when I was teaching. I
Mm-hmm.
wrote that song during the time where the biker that I taught to read, I
Mm-hmm.
wrote that song that time. So that song might have been like maybe 15 years old or so. But
Wow.
all I had was just the chorus.
Okay.
But the beat was talking to me. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
Sometimes the music, it talks to you.
Yes.
Like it doesn't tell you exactly what to say, but it tells you what to say. If you understand what I mean, what
Yeah.
I'm saying. And if you're like open and you're connected, because music is a vibe, it's an energy, it's a vibration. Because that's what
Mm-hmm.
sound is. Music is just what should I say? Sweet vibration.
Mm-hmm.
Music is just sweet vibration. And I was able to basically record the entire song in less than 2 hours from scratch,
Nice.
while I didn't even listen to the entire beat. All I heard was just the first part of the beat. That song came to my mind, and I knew that I had a chorus already. And then as I recorded, I started hearing the different chord progressions, the different beat changeover, the different patterns in the rhythm and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So most of my creative writing comes from ideas that I might have had already. Like sometimes like you hear something and you say, yo, that was deep. What does that even mean? And you
Yeah.
kind of start to build an idea in it, but you kind of lock it in your subconscious.
Right.
And then here you are in a situation where you hear a beat and then that thing comes back to mind. It's as if it's a puzzle. And
Mm-hmm.
every day, what you hear, what you see, what you feel, it goes somewhere in your mind. And then you hear the right beats, it's the right atmosphere, and everything just intertwine. So
Mm-hmm.
that is me. I have never, ever, ever, ever had a full song and go to the studio and sing it the exact way.
Mm-hmm.
Because every time I go to the studio, a matter of fact, I make it a point of my duty. If a producer gives me a beat and say, yo, I want you on this beat, I might only write the chorus, and sometimes the chorus that I write becomes the verse.
Right.
But I've never written a complete song because depending on what the vibe of the engineer is, depends on what the vibe is that you were feeling all throughout the day. It's gonna add in that. So sometimes I just leave that space, that gap to get some inspiration. That's what it is.
Nice. Very dynamic process, like feeling in the energies and the frequencies and allowing yourself to be moved by those vibes in the
Definitely.
moment, in the moment. And I was curious, how do collaboration projects like those with Bling Ross and Rasta Biggs shape your approach to creativity and innovation?
Right. So that's again like most of the collaboration that I have done, it's a situation where the ideas are mine first. So I do not like to hear what other people is saying. And it's a gamble because a lot of times they wrote their verse already, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, don't send me your verse. You can tell me what you were singing about, but don't give me no lyrics. You just say you're singing about the trash can and just send me the beat. And I'll build my inspiration around the trash can. That's what I prefer to do.
Okay.
Now, Bling Ross. Um, my first collaboration was not with Bling Ross. It was actually a song known as Scroll of Passion, which I got that song to because I never started recording it because I gave up on music, but I got that beat to give to an artist.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like saying to myself, is this really it? I'm just writing for people. I'm never ever gonna record anything for myself. Right? And I gave the beat to the artist, right? But I still had a copy of it on my phone. And I'm like vibing to it and I'm like, yo, maybe I should try again. And I followed the artist to the studio to do the song. And he had the beat for like 4 or 5 days and he didn't find anything on it. And so the song that I was vibing on it, I kind of gave him a verse and I did my verse and thing. And then we wrote the third verse together.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first one. The second collaboration was with Bling Ross. I got this beat through a radio disc jock, and he said, "Yo, I admire your work rate, and I have a artist that has the same work rate as you. They just keep grinding and grinding." I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna make him send you a beat." So we did a small three-way call on WhatsApp. The guy sends me a beat, and I'm like, "What the hell am I gonna do on this beat?" So like I got to work early, a couple of hours before work start, and I'm at the airport and I'm in the car park and I'm trying to sleep, but I don't want to sleep because I'm gonna be late for work.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'm dozing off. But every time I like a plane fly over my head,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, gosh, these planes just keep coming and going and coming and going and coming and going. And most of the planes are American airline. And the idea comes to my mind and say, yo, if you were American airline and you wanted to describe the service, what would you say? I'm like, I don't know. We stay fly. And just immediately the melody came. We stay fly. And
Okay.
that was the song right away. That was the song right away.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of collaboration, I recorded my part and I sent it to him and I said, yo, I'm not sure what you have on the beat. He's like, singer, this gone. Right now, me did have a little thing and me just crushed up and dash it away. Me have to build an idea. Yeah, I'll have to build an idea around what you want. Understand? So that's the other experience. Another experience. I have a song from a mama song. That again, I went to the studio with the intention to record something that has nothing to do with a mother, and the engineer is mixing a project and he's looking and he gets a call from one of his artists. Hey, can you send me that beat? So he's like, what's the name of the beat again? The artist don't know the beat. So he's scrolling through his beat. Is it this one? No. This one? No. This one? It kind of sound like it, but I'm not sure. And then he gets to a beat. I'm like, yo, 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 yo. Play that beat for me. And there you go. I got the first verse, the chorus, and everything. And there was another artist inside the studio. Boom, he got the second verse. So
Right.
sometimes the collaborations, they are not meant to be collaboration. Again, it's the energy and the environment. You understand what I'm saying? But that's my thing with collaboration. The only different collaboration I have had is a situation where an artist calls me and he says that we have this song but it's missing something. This is what we think it's supposed to go like. So they already recorded their part of it and they basically say this is what we want to say. Um and I think is a song where she call me every time she want me, she call me. And basically in all my collaboration, that is the only one that went accordingly. Like I sang basically what they wanted me to sing, but I
Mhm.
put a twist on it and like change a couple words.
Okay.
But that's basically it.
Nice. Nice. And I have one last question for you. I love how you talk about collaboration. That was fun. Um, but I want you to, I think you have your single coming out. My Love is on the way, gonna drop on your birthday.
Yeah,
Where do you see your music and creative journey headed over the next few years?
few years. So I think I'm actually working on a couple of things. I have some songs that I've written. Well, the first verse and the chorus
Uh-huh.
for the most part, which I think definitely 2026 I'm gonna release my first album,
Nice.
and I think that album is gonna open doors because I it would have not been a situation where I'm making music in a rush because I'm actually gonna take the time off and I'm gonna basically be doing music in itself, it's in its entirety. So I think that's gonna bring out another side of me where it's not spontaneous because during all the release of my songs, it has always been a situation where I'm working maybe 12 hours a day doing a regular job and then I just find time to do music, squeeze music in. So
Hmm.
for this project, it's not going to be squeezing music in, it's going to be all music. So
Yeah.
I think having the opportunity to invest that time and to be committed to that, I think this is going to open doors for me. And I think I'm going to also, during that time, take the opportunity to kind of fulfill some of the commitments that I was expected to do, like back in COVID. Like I say, I I still have an offer to do a show in Gambia.
Hmm.
Um, I have been invited to Nigeria in November, which I'm not gonna go, but sometime I'm gonna do that in 2026. So I think I'm gonna be on the next level, on another level
Nice.
in a few years. I think it's gonna be my full-time thing. I think that's what I'm gonna do. And also, definitely in 2026 or maybe before the year end, I have a project that I'm gonna do, which I'm gonna release a collection with like 8 artists on the same beat kind of flavor.
Hmm.
So it's gonna be what they call it a juggle. And I'm basically partnering with one of my cousins to do that project. So that's gonna be another side of me being a producer, so to speak.
Hmm.
Yeah. So in a few years, I think I can basically say I'm a renowned musician or a renowned artist.
All right, now that's
Yep.
awesome. Looking forward to watching your journey and, applauding from the sidelines. Definitely. And just want to thank our listeners for tuning in today to Jahmi Roc's Jottings on this interview with XKhraig. And hopefully we can do a part two to this one of these days in the future, maybe when you're getting that album prepared, on a different season of the podcast. But I
Yes.
just want to thank you again. Big up yourself. And bless up. May Jah guide, may God keep all of those good things. Wishing you so much love, peace, blessings.
All right. Thank you. Once again, thank you for having me. It was a pleasure. And I'm grateful, looking to come back again. And who knows, maybe one day we'll do a collab because I know you'll be doing your thing.
Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. I would love that. That would be
All
awesome.
right.
All right, listeners, bless up, take care of yourselves, and see you next time on Jahmi Roc's Jottings.